A new voting law is being dubbed the new Jim Crow. It's caused a media frenzy and actually resulted in the arrest of a state representative. But anti-voter legislation is nothing new in the state of Georgia. Joining me to talk about this is investigative journalist Greg Palast, who's been tracking voter suppression efforts for 20 years. And that's a fact, Greg. I remember interviewing you about 20 years ago for the first time when you started uncovering all this. You might remember with Air America. And it just never stops, does it? First things first. Greg, tell us about the significance of this new Georgia law and how it impacts voters. Take us there.
Well, first of all, let's begin with the fact that Georgia's always been running Jim Crow elections. It's one of the worst states, and I've been investigating there for 8 years, originally for Rolling Stone and Salon and The Guardian, and now I'm working with Black Voters Matter Fund. And so it's an old story. Now it's just getting much worse. They panicked because despite everything that they tried, they couldn't stop Biden, Ossoff, and Warnock from winning Georgia because it is a blue state, as Martin Luther King III told me 8 years ago when I began working there and investigating. He says, you just have to let us vote. Let the people vote. It's a minority, it's a white minority state right now. And so what they have to do something simple. Eliminate black voters. This new law takes it a new step, a new horrific step down backwards into the Jim Crow darkness.
Okay, how did they do that? We keep hearing that line, this is awful, this is awful. What? Tell us, what are they doing? Lay out the first specifics about it. What are they doing?
Okay. I mean, everyone's heard, I broke a story that part of the law is that if you give someone a slice of pizza or a bottle of water, which I witnessed this criminal activity by the Papa John's pizza pushing gang in Georgia, it is a felony crime. I kid you not, to hand someone a slice of pizza in a line. Now, understand, this is Georgia, where it's often pouring rain or humid, horrid conditions. Why are the lines 3, 4, 6 hours long? For example, in Cobb County, they closed 6 of the 11 early voting stations, all 6 in African-American neighborhoods. So, of course, people then bunch up into the white districts that are left open for voting. The new law reduces the number of hours for early voting. This will make the election day lines longer. It also severely cuts back on drop boxes because, you know, the Postal Service has been a nightmare. So people trying to mail in their ballots, mail them in, you just put them in a drop box, which are, by the way, watched 24/7 by cameras. They're highly secure. No one's ever said that there's an illegal vote put in those boxes. But now they've made it 2 things. They've reduced the number of boxes by about 2/3 in the big cities, that is, which means voters of color, the color being blue, by the way. They've reduced the number of drop boxes. They reduced the number of early voting hours, again crushing the lines. And even more horrendous, they have now said that any voter, and this has been unnoticed so far, Mike, any voter may challenge an unlimited number of other voters challenging their right to vote on whatever specious grounds they come up with. And this is not theoretical. In the 2020 election and then especially in the 2021 runoff for the U.S. Senate, a group called True the Vote, a Tea Party spinoff, True the Vote, challenged, are you ready for this? 364,000 voters. They challenged 364,000 voters' right to vote.
Okay, so in the time we got left, tell the viewers what that means. Do they stop them in line and say you can't? Tell us how this works and how it chills the process, if you would.
Well, what they did was they came up with this cockamamie list. And, you know, it used to be you could challenge a voter, but you had to know the voter. Say, oh, that guy doesn't live here anymore. Or, you know, he was convicted of a felony or something. They removed that restriction. See, the 346,000 challenges didn't go through. But now the new law will permit it because you don't have to know the voter. You just have to say, oh, we see that Jose Garcia, according to the post office, a Jose Garcia moved out of Georgia. Well, Jose Garcia is actually a common name, but not for Republicans. So this is a type of challenge that they're mounting. We're talking about 1/3 voters. We expect them to challenge. The Republican Party has joined in with True the Vote on these challenges, and the challenges are now welcomed by the Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger.
What has been the result of that? If they challenged 360,000 voters, how many of them actually were not permitted to place a vote? Do you have a number on
virtually
that?
Virtually every challenge was thrown out. That's why they just changed the law. So we don't know what's going to, under the new law, you can expect 1/3 voters are going to face the chop. And we saw the effect of this. 340,000 voters were illegally removed just before the 2018 election, in which Stacey Abrams supposedly lost to Brian Kemp. This will reactivate that Jim Crow ethnic cleansing of the voter rolls. Very serious stuff.
Okay. You know, yeah, State Representative, to tell you how ugly it gets, State Representative Park Cannon, well, he was actually handcuffed right in front, right outside the governor's mansion. Tell us about that a little bit. What happened there?
Well,
Park Cannon.
That's the second
handcuffed.
time. What he's trying to do is the governor was holding a signing of the bill, which is usually, it's a public event by law and tradition. They locked the door to the governor's office and only allowed 7 white guys to witness the signing of the bill. I kid you not. So an African American said, I want to be there when this Jim Crow thing is penned. And they literally busted him. But understand, this is the second bust. We have on camera from 2 years ago, Nikema Williams, who is now Congresswoman Williams. There were protests against the theft of the election in 2018. In the Capitol, which was a legal demonstration, legal petitioning. And the cops started arresting people. So Nikema, the representative in the House, in the Georgia House, came down and said, look, these people are just trying to present a petition to me. And they arrested her. She's now in Congress. So this is Georgia. It's a contact sport, believe me. This is old stuff.
Greg,
this has been happening again and again.
We appreciate that you're out there. Thank you for following this story. We'll follow it more with you as it develops. Thank you for joining me, Greg. Okay.
You're the best.
Finally tonight, some good news. A federal judge has rejected a settlement offer from Intuit after the company was sued for misleading consumers about the cost of filing their taxes. Farron Cousins joins me again to explain the settlement. You know, Farron, what I love about this, first of all, I love this judge. This guy has always shown so much courage, and now he's doing it again. I mean, he's saying, look, this is not acceptable. A, you're not giving the people enough money who lost a lot of money, and B, you're making it almost impossible for those people to get paid because of what they have to go through. They have to opt out, okay? All of these steps you've put in front of these folks to opt out is just not fair.
Right, and you had thousands and thousands and thousands of people using Intuit every year from I think it was 2015 to 2020, and they didn't know that they were able to file their taxes for free, and instead ended up paying typically about $100 for this service provided by Intuit. That again, the government says this is free. Intuit made a big deal of telling the government, listen, we're going to give low-income people and military members the ability to file their taxes for free. And government says, that's great. We appreciate it. Yeah. And then Intuit duped them essentially into paying $100 a piece. And the settlement was going to be $20 or something like that.
This Judge Breyer in Northern District, California, has always shown so much courage to protect consumers in a fair way. Yep. That's all he's doing. He's just saying, let's play fair. Love this guy. I love the kind of decisions he reaches on behalf of the consumer. Farron, thank you for joining me, okay?
Thank you.
That's all for tonight. Find us on Twitter and Facebook at facebook.com/RT America's Lawyer. You can watch all RT America programs on DirecTV channel 321. Also stream them live on YouTube. And be sure, check out RT's new portable app where you can watch all your favorite shows. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this is America's Lawyer, where every week we tell you the stories that corporate media is ordered not to tell because their advertisers won't let them and because of their political involvement. Have a great night.